In the heart of the magnificent Himalayan mountains, while the glistening snow covered the peaks, there was a man named Raj. Raj was a man full of wisdom and experience, known in the village as the bearer of wisdom. He had a habit of gathering villagers around him to hear his stories and advice. One cold night, the villagers had gathered around the campfire in the village. Raj sat at the edge of the fire and began his story. Once upon a time, there was a man named Karan. Karan was a young and ambitious man who dreamed of reaching the summit of a towering mountain in the Himalayas. However, this mountain was known to be one of the most dangerous in the region, and no one had dared to climb it before. Karan began preparing for this perilous journey. He bought climbing gear and learned all the necessary skills. He spent long hours training and getting ready, but he was well aware of the risks of this adventure. When the time came to set out, Karan headed to the foothills of the mountain. The journey was tough from the very beginning, as he had to face icy storms and rock slides. With each step he took, he encountered greater and tougher challenges. One day, after weeks of climbing, Karan reached a critical point. He faced a narrow passage on a steep cliff. Storms were raging, and snow was falling heavily. He knew that any mistake could be fatal. Here is where wisdom comes into this story. Karan paused and began to think deeply. He knew he could continue and attempt to cross the perilous passage, but he also realized that there was another life depending on him. He chose to return to the village and take care of himself and his future. The lesson Karan learned is that wisdom is not only in achieving our goals but also in the ability to assess risks and make wise decisions. We may have big dreams, but we must also understand when to stop and live to challenge another day. As Raj finished his story, silence enveloped the villagers. In that moment, they realized that wisdom is not just about achieving goals, but also about the ability to make wise decisions in the face of challenges.